So we're here in Monroe, Georgia. Gonna do a kind of an evening flight. The winds today were like 8 or 9, kind of gusty, but it's about 5:30 and it's calmed down quite a bit. Henry's up in the air and Nick, I think. I'm gonna join them. Now here you'll see I have to run my butt off to get off the ground. Oh yeah, and they kept buzzing the field while I was trying to take off. It's like, come on guys. But I had my trimmers out, so it took quite a bit of a run to get off the ground. You can see my arms are in the shadow. I start pulling some brake. And a little bit more, and then I'm starting to ease off. Yeah, there we go. I thought, I'll just come back around the field here and do the traditional buzz by. We're actually going to head out towards the lake today, which is directly south of the field. And it's it was a little bumpy at first, but it smoothed out pretty quick. It was generally only bumpy down by the trees, but it wasn't that bad at all. And then in about 20 minutes, everything just goes away, and it's just smooth as butter. So here's Henry coming in under me. He's going to fly through those trees there. I don't know why he doesn't go down for a total foot drag, but he stays above the trees. Maybe his wing's too big. I don't know. But we're going to head over to the lake here in just a second and check it out. Oh, that's where I lost audio. It's me stowing my brakes and letting my trims out so I can get to the lake a little faster. I've got that 19-meter Dominator, and it's a little bit faster than that Nucleon with when Henry has all his trims out. I'm about maybe a couple mile an hour faster. But so we went to the lake real quick. There wasn't really any outs, so I came back over to the farm fields here to kind of foot drag. Not really foot dragging, but it's, staying just right above the ground within inches. And when I turn around here a couple times, I did this field a few times, I noticed there was another section of the lake right there, so I thought, well, I'll go over there and check it out. And there was cows in that field, so I wanted to stay up high. And then usually whenever I cross over power lines, I always cross at the poles, so I know how high I am. I came in here just to kind of getting close to the shoreline here. Wasn't sure what was over here. When I got over here, there was like a fence running into the water here, which is kind of a hazard if I had to land. So I thought, well, I'll just finish here. I can land if I need to. And I was turning around and I'm like, oh, there's like 0 outs right there. I need to go back. So I turned around and came back and flew the shoreline again here. And then I thought, well, I'll just head back inland because I don't know what happened to Henry. He took off. I think he flew back to the field. This was a night. I wanted to come back and slalom these bales, but it was in kind of a ravine. I wasn't sure if I could get out. Oh, there's a Fox 5 News was down there filming something. So I thought, well, I'll come back around. There was people out at the house and in the field there, so I don't know what was going on. But I came back around and you can't see it, but I was watching the cameraman there, and he had reoriented his camera to point up at me. So I came by one more time and gave him a little show. I wish I had my lights on, because then I would have got the American flag for him. But I don't know what was going on there. And I found this house over here, which had some nice trees in the back. I was flying through. The wing that I'm flying is that 19-meter Dominator under the flat top, which I really, really like that combination. It's a little sporty, but it's very smooth, and it responds to every little input, and it has a ton of lift, which is when you're doing low maneuvers like this, it's like really key that you have the ability to stuff the brakes and get some altitude really quick without having to hit the throttle. And this wing, you can stuff the brakes and jump 10 or 20 feet like instantly, which is super nice. Some of the other wings I've had, if you stuff the brakes, it just sit there and do nothing. I thought I'd come back by again and see if the news crew was still there and fly by them again if they were out, but I came through here and I don't think they were out, but I think I got a shot of their news van again. They probably went to the house. Maybe somebody got shot. I don't know. It's Monroe. Who knows what happens in Monroe? But let's see here. Yeah, there was no camera, guys, so I just turned around. I went back to this house that has the kind of trees and some nice, it's like really gorgeous when the sun is setting through here. I was flying that a little bit. I came around. I generally try to avoid any field. There was tons of fields out there that were awesome, but they were just littered with cows, and I don't want to spook anybody's livestock and, you know, cause a problem and make us feel unwanted in these areas. So I always avoid the cows, and if I can, I'll fly the tree line instead. That way I still have an out. If I had to, I could land in the cow field, but then I'm at least away from them, and I try to stay at least 200 feet above them if I have to fly over them. And generally they kind of ignore you. Sometimes you'll see a cow looking up at you going, what the heck is that? But this field here I actually really liked. There was no cows, and it had a swath of trees right in the center and a few dotted in a couple places that you could go through. And so I came around this field probably 5 or 6 times, just staying right above the ground and coming through the trees here. This was a really nice field. It's a little tricky when you're heading back uphill and you're trying to maintain, you know, that like less than a foot above the ground, because you have to gain altitude and maintain altitude at the same time. Whereas like if you're going downhill, it's a little bit easier because you don't have to control the throttle. Oh, this is those trees that Henry went through. And I saw a guy out there, so I thought, well, I'll come through. I wonder if he's mad at me or he's happy, and I'll go see. So I came through the trees here, and he was waving. Happy guy. We like that. Check, make sure my wing's not going to hit any trees, and came down and just skirted the ground there. It'd actually be kind of fun to land in there and take off again. And then this is that one field again. I really liked this one. This one was very easy, nice, easy slope. It's a little drop off here in the back, but it was just nice and gentle. So I actually come around this field one more time here. Turning and trying to maintain altitude at the same time. Trees. That tree was awesome. It's like picture perfect. I don't know why more people don't do this. I know it's a little scary. I mean, I'm scared of heights. I can't even climb to the top of a 20-foot ladder without shaking so much that the ladder falls off the building. But it's different when you're flying, because you're actually sitting in a chair, just gliding above the ground, and it's almost like flying in a commercial airliner. How, you know, A lot of people that are afraid of heights and stuff can fly in a commercial jet, no problem, and they can sit by the window and look out at the ground below them. And it's kind of the same thing when you're flying a paraglider. But that was Henry calling me. So I came back through and did that tree maze again. That tree maze was awesome. I wish there was a bigger one, or a longer one. Stuff like that is like really fun to fly through, especially when it's dead calm. Because at this point in the evening, every bit of wind had died off and every thermal was dead. So coming through these things, it was just smooth as butter. There he is again. I'm literally just inches above the ground here. That was just awesome. Love to go camping there. See there, I just stuffed the brakes and whoosh, altitude real fast. Then I thought I'd better head back because the sun was setting. So I'm now back at the field and they're still sitting here doing circles around each other in the field. I just don't get it how people can find that fun just sitting there doing circles in the field. I can see doing it a few times, but launching and circling for an hour, like it's old when there's so much more to see. So I thought, well, I'll come in here and foot drag this field since everybody else was. I had to make sure I didn't I think that was Nick. I think didn't want to get in his way. I think after he saw me dragging the field here, he started following me from behind and doing the same thing. But this is a strange field because it's surrounded like 360 by trees, and they're pretty tall. So it gets a lot of rotor off of those trees, even if the wind is very light. And depending on which direction the wind's blowing, the rotor can actually make it quite difficult to climb out of this field. So you have to be ready for that. And if you're not climbing, you need to circle out instead. This field is about 30 acres, and the guy that owns it saw us flying over at the Home Depot in Winder and stopped and said he had a large field that we could come fly. Unfortunately, the guy that he leases this to grows hay on it, and he fertilizes it. And of course, he just showed up out of the blue and started fertilizing the field. And so I was like, oh shoot, I better get down quick, because I didn't want to land and drop my wing in a bunch of fertilizer, because that's all I need is my wing to get, take it out of the bag a week later and it's all chewed up from caustic fertilizer all over my wing. But you'll see the last shot where I'm buzzing around the field again. The truck shows up and is just spraying it all over the place. I'm like, shoot, I better land really fast. And that's Ifet up there, I believe. He was up flying. I was just coming in and just buzzing the field. And I guess everybody else decided to go up higher since I was down here cutting a rug. Let's see, there's church. I think I went to the right this time since nobody else was in the field, or clockwise. It's a pretty nice field. It's sloped up this direction here that I'm going right now. So if you have to take off that direction, you're going uphill and having to clear the trees there and that church and the power lines. Straight ahead right there is where everybody's sitting around. think Henry had already landed. Yeah, and then I fly up and around and come back down again, and that's when I saw the fertilizer truck just drove right into the field and started spraying. There he is. He's just, it's just all spraying out the back. I'm like, oh god, I better land. So I came in for a foot drag land, but I don't know what happened here. I tripped, boom, and then bam. I was like trying to slide it in and I tripped. And the ground was pretty smooth, so I don't know what happened there. And then I quickly balled my wing up and grabbed my stuff and carted it off the field to my car because I did not want fertilizer all over my stuff. And there's my car. Hope you enjoyed. Catch you next time.